Ever just like stare at your bank account and kind of feel like you're missing a piece of the puzzle? I
Yeah.
think we've all been there, right? That feeling of never having enough can be such a drag.
Yeah.
But what if instead of stressing over our finances, we like use them as a springboard to something bigger? That's what we're diving into today with this article called Looking at Your Bank Account Like a Half-Empty Glass of Milk. It's time to change the game.
Oh, I like that.
Right. It's catchy.
Hmm.
It's all about changing our perspective from, like lack to abundance.
Yeah. What's so fascinating about this whole idea is like how much our mindset really does shape like our actual reality. When we constantly focus on what we don't have, it kind of becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, you know? We
Total.
see roadblocks everywhere and play it safe and make excuses, and it just keeps us stuck in that cycle of never enough.
It's like that feeling of scarcity almost becomes comfortable in a way, which sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
I think we've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, your bank account today doesn't have to determine your future. This article isn't about, pretending like everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that even when things feel tight, there's always potential for growth.
I love that. So how do we actually make that mental shift, though? Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to say, think positive, but how do we really start to see our finances
Yeah.
as, a source of opportunity and not just, bills?
Well, the article actually highlights this great quote from Zig Ziglar, and it goes, "You cannot tailor make the situations in life, but you can tailor make the attitudes to fit those situations." And it all begins with this super simple, but often overlooked practice: gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, I can see how being thankful for what you do have could like shift your energy in a good way, but how does that actually translate into, like making progress financially?
It's about realizing that abundance starts with appreciation. Instead of fixating on what's missing, start by appreciating the resources you do have, even if they seem small. Maybe it's a roof over your head or a good friend, or even just the fact that you're here right now listening to this.
Right.
That shift in thinking it creates a foundation of abundance, which can then influence your financial decisions and lead to better outcomes.
So instead of stressing about not having that fancy car, yet be grateful for the reliable one you have now.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that everything you have right now is a stepping stone to where you want to be. And once you appreciate those stepping stones, you can see the path forward more clearly.
And that's where the half full part of the glass comes in, right?
Mm,
Instead of seeing our situation as limitation, we can see the potential within it.
precisely. And that potential is directly tied to recognizing your own inherent worth. The article really stresses this. Your skills, your knowledge, your experiences, those are all valuable assets, even if they're not currently reflected in your bank balance. You have something unique to offer the world, and that in itself is incredibly powerful.
I love that. It's like that saying, you are not your bank account. It's so easy to get caught up in the numbers and forget that our real value goes way beyond that. So we've talked about, shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance. But how do we put that into action? It's easy to get stuck just thinking about it, right?
Oh, totally. The article really emphasizes this idea that waiting for the perfect moment to take control of your finances. It's a trap.
Yeah, really.
It's like waiting for that glass of milk to like refill itself. It's not going to happen.
So true. We tell ourselves, once I get that raise or when I have more time, but really there's no better time than now.
Exactly. And that's where the article's third takeaway comes in: action. It's not enough to just recognize our potential and be grateful for what we have. We actually have to act on it. And often the most impactful action is the smallest one.
So instead of waiting for, like a big financial break, we should focus on small, consistent things we can do right now.
Exactly. This article actually brings up a super interesting point that successful people seem to understand. They don't wait for like the perfect conditions to start going after their goals.
Right.
They just start taking action, even if it's imperfect or kind of scary at first.
I think that's what holds so many of us back, the fear of not being ready or messing up.
Yep.
But you're saying that taking action, even if it's not perfect, is how we unlock that potential.
Yes. Think of it like building a muscle. The first few times you try to lift weights, it's going to be tough. You might feel unsure of yourself, and you probably won't see results right away.
Right.
But the more you show up and put in the work, the stronger you become. And it's the same with our finances. The more we take these small, consistent steps, like setting a budget or automating our savings or finding new ways to make money, the stronger that financial muscle gets and the closer we are to our goals.
I like that analogy. A lot of times we get so caught up in needing like the perfect plan or strategy, But it's more about just starting even with a tiny step.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is once you take that first step, you start building momentum. Every little win fuels your motivation and makes it easier to keep going even when things get tough.
It's not just about the individual actions. It's about what happens when we string those actions together over time,
Yeah.
like that snowball effect.
Yeah.
It starts small, but then it picks up speed and gets bigger and bigger until it's unstoppable.
That's a great way to put it. And the article goes even deeper with this whole momentum thing. It gives us some concrete steps to get that snowball rolling.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
all ears. What are some things we can do like today to start refilling our glass? So we're talking about like taking action, building momentum. What's that actually look like? Like what can we actually do?
Well, the article breaks it down into three really practical steps. And the first one is investing in yourself. A lot of times we put this off thinking we need like a ton of money or free time to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
But even small investments in yourself can totally change your earning potential in the future.
It's like that saying, the best investment is in yourself.
Yes.
But where do we even start? It feels like there's so much information out there.
That's true, but it's also way easier now than ever to find things that fit our budget and our schedule. Think about the skills and interests you already have. Maybe there are online courses or workshops or even just free webinars that could help you like level up those skills.
Right.
Could you maybe spend 30 minutes a day reading books or listening to podcasts about your field? Even these little consistent efforts can really add up over time.
It's about making learning a regular thing, not just something we do when we have extra time or money. So what's the next step in the plan?
The next thing the article talks about is working with what we have. It's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need more of everything, more money, more time, more resources.
Right.
But the truth is, you probably have a lot of untapped potential right in front of you.
You're talking about our talents or skills or even just our network of friends and family.
Exactly. Like that side hustle you've been thinking about, you might already have the skills to start it today. Or maybe you have a spare bedroom that's not being used that could be turned into a short-term rental. Don't underestimate how powerful creativity and resourcefulness can be.
So it's about seeing what we already have in a new light with possibility instead of limitations.
Exactly.
Okay, I love it. What's the last piece of the puzzle?
The last thing the article talks about is focusing on creating value. When you really think about it, money is just an exchange of value, right?
Right.
We trade our time, skills, and resources for it. So the more value you can offer, whether it's solving a problem, filling a need, or even just bringing joy to someone, the more abundance will come into your life.
So it's not about going after the money itself. It's about creating something worthwhile that other people see as valuable.
Exactly. It's a small difference, but so important.
Instead of getting lost in the numbers, we need to ask, what can I offer that's valuable?
Yes. And remember, value can be anything. A product, a service, a piece of art, even just listening to a friend or helping someone out. Don't underestimate your impact.
This has been such an inspiring conversation. We went from feeling stuck in that half-empty mindset to having all these actionable steps we can take to create a more abundant life. It all starts with shifting our perspective, being grateful for what we do have, seeing our own potential and taking action, even if it's just one tiny step at a time. Because those small steps with enough effort behind them can lead to amazing things. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling that little spark of motivation, don't let it go out. Ask yourself, what's one small action I can take today to start refilling my glass? This is the Deep Dive, reminding you that your financial journey is in your hands. Now go out there and make something amazing.